And that's all for today. I'm Nancy Glass. Please join us again for the next American Journal.
Good afternoon, everyone. Coming up next on Chicago's News, Kato Kaelin's testimony may lead to a new Chicago connection to the O.J. Simpson trial. In health, how a new material is helping patients with osteoporosis. And wedding bells for Nancy Kerrigan, but wait till you hear who she's marrying. It's coming up next in 30 seconds.
What do you think the best value is in a new car today? Hint, it better be dependable, and it better have safety equipment like driver's side airbag and anti-lock brake standard. Give up? Try the Oldsmobile Sierra SL. 95% of all Sierras sold in the last 8 years are still on the road. And now, thanks to simplified pricing, you can get one equipped just the way you like it, all for one low price. See this week's newspaper and compare for yourself. Oldsmobile Sierra SL, putting value on the road for good.
From WBBM TV, this is Chicago's News. 2 News at 4.
Good afternoon. Topping Chicago's News today at 4, O.J. Simpson's house guest, Kato Kaelin, told the court today that he didn't know where Simpson was during the time period when the murders occurred. Also today, reports of a new Chicago connection, a pair of sweatpants found that may be linked to O.J. Simpson. Channel 2's John Duncanson is in the newsroom now with more. John?
Marianne, Chicago police have notified LAPD of clothing found after someone phoned in a tip directing them to 5600 Northeast River Road. Yesterday in court, Kato Kaelin testified that O.J. Simpson wore a dark jogging suit the day of the murders. Police sources tell me this afternoon that last summer they searched the area near the O'Hare Area Hotel where O.J. Simpson stayed extensively last summer. No clothing at that time was found. Chicago police detectives today place so little credence that the clothing found yesterday relates to the Simpson case that, in fact, no paperwork has been filed. Meantime, in Los Angeles, Kato Kaelin continued his testimony today in court.
Did you see the defendant at 9:50?
No.
Did you know where he was at 9:50?
No.
Did you see the defendant at 9:55?
No.
Marcia Clark got tough today, drilling Kato Kaelin with questions about the time span the night of the murders in which he did not see O.J. Simpson.
10:15.
No.
Did you see the defendant at 10:20?
No.
Did you know where he was at 10:20?
No.
Kaelin seemed to try to slip from Clark's grasp as she intensely questioned why O.J. Simpson told Kato to move out of Nicole Brown's residence and into a bungalow on Simpson's estate.
And what did you take that to mean, Mr. Kaelin?
I moved out.
What did you take that to mean, Mr. Kaelin?
That it could possibly have been that he was thinking that I might be with Nicole.
Sexually?
Possibly that he was thinking that, yes.
What else would you think as a result of that statement?
Well, because I never did. I didn't think
Mr.
that.
Mr. Kaelin, answer my question.
Okay.
What else would you have thought?
Well, that it could have been that.
Simpson attorney Robert Shapiro got Kaelin to admit that O.J. knew his ex-wife dated other men, that he was a loving father and not physically violent.
Did you ever see O.J. in any way be physical towards Nicole during the entire time you knew Nicole Simpson?
No.
As for Simpson's mental state in the hours before the murders occurred...
He didn't seem angry?
No.
Didn't seem agitated?
No.
He didn't seem depressed?
No.
Didn't seem despondent?
No.
Now, Kaelin testified he didn't know where O.J. Simpson was between 9:45 and 10:50. That's the time when prosecutors say the murders occurred. And while yesterday he testified to seeing the blood droppings in O.J. Simpson's entryway the morning after the murders, this afternoon Kaelin said he didn't notice any blood the night before while helping Simpson get to the airport. Lester, Marianne?
John, I get the impression Chicago police aren't real excited about this discovery of those sweatpants. Why?
Well, basically, as one Chicago detective told me over the phone today in typical Chicago detective lingo, he said there was a search there 9 months ago. Yesterday, Kato Kaelin testifies to a pair of sweatpants. Today, the sweatpants appear. You figure it out. That's what he told me.
But they've got to go through the motions and make the call.
Sure.
All right. John Duncanson. Within the past, there's a brief recess right now in the Simpson trial. Prosecutor Marcia Clark reviewing a transcript of a defense interview with Kato Kaelin. When the testimony resumes, Kaelin will undergo more cross-examination by the defense. We'll have an update on the entire trial in about 30 minutes. In trial notes, the defense is complaining about a comment that prosecutor Christopher Darden made in a sidebar. Shapiro says a comment about Simpson's son Jason and a knife found at Simpson's estate implied his son had something to do with planting potential evidence. The defense has subpoenaed a newspaper in Spokane to turn over photographs and an interview with Detective Mark Furman. The newspaper wants Simpson's defense team to prove they need the materials to defend Simpson. And you'd think Cato Kalin had better things in his mind. He started the day by asking if the glass of water placed in front of him was fresh. He drank it all by the end of the day. Stay tuned to Channel 2 for the very latest on the O.J. Simpson trial.
In other news today, Harvey's police chief is defending his department after an unusual police investigation that seems to twist and turn every day. It began with a Harvey police officer being shot last week, and it led to a bad arrest. But this afternoon, Harvey's police chief is sticking to his story that Eugene Neal shot a police officer last Wednesday. At a news conference today, the chief repeatedly denounced the Cook County State's Attorney's Office for dropping the attempted murder charges against Neal.
In my opinion, that subject should have been charged, and the rest of the stuff should have been sorted out in the court system. It's unacceptable. The only way that I believe this individual should have been let go if he's on a plane to China.
Now, sources tell Channel 2 News that the injured police officer could not positively identify Neal, and that, coupled with a solid alibi, is what forced the Cook County State's Attorney to drop the charges.
Faulty wiring is believed to have caused a fire that seriously injured 3 children and their grandmother inside their South Side home. The fire broke out inside this home in the 6300 block of South Laughlin. A 2-year-old girl was critically hurt in the blaze. The other 2 children remain hospitalized. The condition of the grandmother is unknown at this hour.
A sickening odor made several employees sick at a North Side office building. The fumes leaked out this morning at the United Food and Commercial Workers office at 4858 North Sheridan Road. One woman was hospitalized after being overcome by the noxious odor. It apparently came from a photocopier inside the building. The fire department says somehow a disabling chemical was released into the air. 20 to 30 people were forced to leave the building until the air cleared. Well, cooler and windy weather out there today. Let's check in with meteorologist Paul Douglas for our first weather. Paul?
In Marianne, the air is about to clear here in Chicago. It's working its way down the North Shore, a clearing trend, and we are forecasting some starshine later on tonight. Nothing showing up on Doppler radar, and that bodes well for your plans this evening. Look at these highs, and we use the term highs in quotes. It didn't get that high. Low to mid-40s. If you were lucky, 37 near the immediate Lake Michigan shoreline. Water temperature 42, and that persistent breeze blowing off the lake is what kept temperatures so raw this morning. Even some reports of sleet and wet snow this morning in parts of northern Cook and Lake counties. Nothing like that on the forecast. Maybe some big thunder for the weekend. More on that coming up, Lester Marion.
All right, Paul Douglas, we'll see you shortly. Several delays in the roadways right now. Let's get a first check of the afternoon rush hour from Chris Habermill live over the Ike in Chopper 2, where there is already trouble this afternoon. Chris?
And right you are, Lester. This rather innocent-looking semi on the right shoulder of the inbound Ike just past Harlem has been instrumental in really gumming up the afternoon rush hour for everybody out here. An accident with this truck spilled some diesel fuel in the 2 right lanes, forcing IDOT to spread sand to soak it up. You can see it in the 2 right lanes down there below. As a result, the inbound Ike is a mess. We're going to take a look back along the inbound side of the Eisenhower. It's solid from the tri-state to the accident scene, almost an hour from Route 53 into the post office, 40 alone from Manheim into downtown. Now, the outbound side is filling in as well with just normal rush hour volumes. So we're already talking 48 to 50 minutes to get from downtown out to Route 53. Live over the Eisenhower, I'm Chris Habermill for Shadow Traffic, Channel 2 News. Lester Marianne, back to you.
Okay, Chris, thanks. Well, Chicago area motorists are going to get a little break on traffic headaches caused by construction. There will be less road work planned this spring and summer. Now, last year, you remember, the Kennedy was a mess, especially around Hubbard's Cave. All that work is complete now, making driving less hectic. There will be some trouble spots, though. According to AAA on I-55, the Stevenson, some lanes will be closed in both directions between I-355 and Naperville Road. And on I-94, the Calumet Expressway, one lane will be closed in both directions at the I-80 interchange. To get an idea of how bad it's been, at least one major highway in the Chicago area has been undergoing some kind of major construction since 1988.
Don't we know it? It seems like 1958, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Coming up next on Chicago's News, the future in airline travel has landed at O'Hare Airport. We'll tell you about it.
A multi-million-dollar discovery turns out to be an artist's dream, and why crying is such a headache. All next.
This is 2 News at 4, Chicago's News.
Introducing a new concept in appliances. artful contouring that actually looks and works better. That's the contour concept. Yours on the new Frigidaire Gallery range. It's a concept that gives you sleek surfaces, quick cleaning, and an oversized convection oven with precise temperature control. You've got to see it. Call 1-800-FRIGIDAIRE. The look of better performance is here.
For all the ways you work today, there's today's Casual Corner. We know you want different looks for different days. So we give you the choices no one else can. From Dress Up Monday to Dress Down Friday. Fashion that works, no matter where you work. And only at the new Casual Corner. Casual Corner, for all the ways you work today.
Nobody beats my deals. Hi, I'm Mike Nardo, General Manager of Dave Miller Oldsmobile Isuzu. And I say, nobody beats my deals on new Oldsmobiles. That's because Dave Miller does more for you. More selection, more convenient service hours, and we'll even give you more for your trade. Shop around. When it comes to making you a satisfied Oldsmobile customer, nobody beats Dave Miller Oldsmobile Isuzu, and that's it.
Shop around and you'll find it true. Dave Miller does more for you.
A line-item veto could clear the Senate today. Republicans are pushing for it, but some Democrats say the measure is unconstitutional. As reporter Regina Blakely reports, this isn't the first time the constitutional issues have come up concerning the GOP's contract with America.
We're talking about the balance of power between the branches of government.
This Congress has spent a lot of time talking about constitutional questions. That's because the Republicans' contract with America has put forward more constitutional issues than a session has seen in years. The 207-year-old United States Constitution has been amended only 27 times, but this Congress is considering